Hey, what's up? It's Michael. Welcome to the channel. And I was driving a lot today thinking about Roku and YouTube TV. I was driving because I'm actually in the middle of a cross-country move, and this is a hotel room I'm sitting in right now. When I got to my hotel, after thinking about Roku and YouTube TV for the whole drive, this came up in my email. Here it is, an email from YouTube TV to its Roku subscribers, and it is about a new way to access YouTube TV from the regular YouTube app. You download the YouTube app from the Roku store, then from the YouTube app, you'll see Go to YouTube TV. It's in the left-hand menu. But if it's your first time doing this, you're going to need to sign in to YouTube TV. And just a couple other notes in this email, YouTube TV saying that it is still working with Roku to come to an agreement. For now, existing YouTube TV members, they can still access YouTube TV on their Roku devices. Just don't delete it. And as YouTube TV has reminded us before, you can still cast to your Roku device, and I will have the instructions on that down below in the description. But this video, not so much about the news. You can follow trusted news sources for the latest on that. Instead, I want to talk about what I'm going to be remembering long after this is over, and I do think this will be over and hopefully soon. Here are the 3 takeaways. First up, both sides are at fault. What is frustrating is that when companies are successful, and Roku and YouTube TV are both very successful, why is it these companies always tend to forget about us, the consumers? That's what's happening here, because this should have been settled behind closed doors and we didn't need to know about it. I see it as 2 companies not meeting expectations. And what are those expectations? Well, for YouTube TV, mine are that it's cheaper than cable, has all my channels, reliable, I can record all my shows, and it's accessible through my preferred supported device. And for Roku, the expectations are that it offers affordable streaming media players and that the interface is simple and easy to use. Also, reliability here, and that it offers access to all of my favorite apps. So in my previous video, which was before the app was pulled, I asked who was to blame. And at this point, I just say both are to blame. I don't really care to pick a side because, as I've just highlighted, there is blame to be spread around to both sides. Takeaway number 2 is to have a backup streaming device. Now, although there are a couple workarounds in this situation, I don't think it's a bad idea to have a backup streaming device. You don't have to be a Roku only or an Amazon only or a Chromecast only household. Now, since I test streaming services for a living, I've got quite a collection of streaming media players. You don't have to go that far, but it doesn't hurt to have an in case of emergency device. I kind of like to think of it like a spare tire. It is there when you need it. And you may not have to run to the store for this backup, because if you have a smart TV from Samsung or LG, some other manufacturers too, you may be able to just download the apps that you want from their device directly. Or here's another tip, ask your family and friends who've been streaming for longer than you. They've probably got their own mini collection of devices they don't use anymore, and if they still work, they would be good backups. And finally, if someone gives you an Amazon Fire TV stick as a gift and you use Roku, don't return it, plug it into the back of your TV set and use it. Try it out. I think overall, people tend to have a dependency too much on just one brand. They pick their favorite and they stick with it. It doesn't hurt to test out other things. And I'm going to talk more about that coming up in the next tip. And the third takeaway is to be flexible with your services. I read a really great response to my first video on the Roku YouTube TV dispute, and I was like, this person really gets it. And what they were saying was YouTube TV is really not all that unique. And they're right, because YouTube TV is just a bunch of cable networks packaged at a cheaper price with no contract and unlimited DVR. I guess I would say the unlimited DVR makes it a little bit special, but there are competitors, and a few of them that are very good. Sling TV, Hulu Live, Fubo TV, and Philo, those are just a few of them, and there's a couple others that I haven't mentioned. So if YouTube TV went away, and it's not going away, there would still be other places to go for the cable networks that you want to watch without having cable or satellite. So this ties in with my previous point. If you switch from cable to YouTube TV and that's the only thing you consider, how's that any different from cable when you were stuck because there was no competition? There is competition, so you can take advantage of that. I think it is great to be loyal to your family and to your friends, but when you are loyal to companies, you got to really think about it, because this is a transactional relationship. Have they really earned your loyalty? And in the case of YouTube TV and Roku, At this point, you can make the case that neither company has earned that loyalty. So let me know what you think about these three takeaways and the ongoing dispute between Roku and YouTube TV. I love reading your comments, and I'll try to catch them on my next stop on this cross-country trip. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.